Hello and welcome back to another episode of Just an Average Metalhead. It is me, your host with the most, Matt. Today I'm here with a review of the brand new studio album from Linkin Park. The album is called From Zero. It came out yesterday. It's the first Linkin Park album we've had since 2017's One More Light. Unfortunately, it's been such a gap because we had the unfortunate passing of original lead vocalist Chester Bennington. I've been a Linkin Park fan for as long as I've been into this kind of music. I was the right age when Hybrid Theory came out, and I've stuck with them ever since. I was absolutely devastated by Chester's passing, and as soon as as soon as the album went live at like midnight on the Friday morning, like today, I was straight on it, and I have been listening to it all day, and I will come here with my review of the album. So this is Linkin Park's first album with new lead vocalist Emily Armstrong. And yeah, before I go into it, I just want to say, honestly, for me, for a comeback album, this album is great. They have gone for more of what I would call the traditional Linkin Park sound. Like, it's really harking back to those first three albums of like Hybrid Theory, Meteora, and Minutes to Midnight. Yeah, I love it. There is a few moments on it which it's probably going to take me a few more listens to sort of like see how I fall on it. There's a couple of tracks like that. There's a couple of tracks I'm not keen on at all. They've kind of hit me like that straight away, and it's but the rest of the album, like from the 2, 4, 6, 10 tracks, there's 8 tracks which I really like. Say two of those 8, I'm still a little bit on the fence. I like them, but I don't know if those songs are going to be like the hubba bubba of the album. Sort of like they're going to lose their flavour after a while. But yeah, let's get into it. Like the first, like there's a little bit of an intro into the album, which goes straight into the first song of the album, "The Emptiness Machine," which was the first proper single we had as like a comeback, and this song hits perfectly. I love it. Like Shinoda's intro, then like getting that first like hit of what Emily's gonna sound like as a vocalist for Linkin Park. Like her vocals seem familiar enough. They still have that sort of like Chestery vibe, but with enough of a take. Like she sounds like she does fit perfectly in that position, but she's not sort of like emulating Chester. She is putting her own spin on it, and that's what you want. I don't think they would have done well if somebody was just emulating what Chester brought to the band. Again, but the track after this is a track called "Cut the Bridge." It is one of the ones where I'm a little bit uncertain of. It's mainly, I don't know, it just seems a bit fillery. Like Mike doesn't seem to be on his top game, especially coming after the Emptiness Machine. But again, it's Linkin Park haven't written together since like 2016, 2017 when they was doing One More Light. So I suppose they've got to find their feet again. But it's not a bad song. It just kind of feels a bit by numbers. Like, and yeah, I think Mike's still trying to find his feet where he belongs in that world. But straight after that is Heavy as the Crown, which is, again, it's really giving off those like early Linkin Park days vibes, and I love it. Like, my one criticism I have had of the latter day Chester material is that the guitars kind of disappeared, and I still loved those albums because they brought like something different. But yeah, the guitars kind of disappeared, but they are back big time with From Zero, and like yeah, like Emily sounds great. Mike's stuff sounds great on Heavy Is the Crown. Yeah, it just like another like yeah, really harkening back to those early days of when I first got into the band. That's probably like the idea because they've been away for so long. Bring back that familiar sound from what people recognise as Linkin Park. But yeah, it's a good song. Like again, it was one of the first like songs we heard before the album was released. And yeah, Heavy Is the Crown, fantastic track. Straight after that is a song called Over Each Other, which for me is Emily's standout moment. She really like it's a solo track. It's just her, no mic on this one, and she really shows what she can do. It's like it is her standout track on this album for me. It's got that sort of like emotional ballads thing that Linkin Park do so well. Like, but not as in not like emotional as in sort of like love song. It is like very like self-deprecating, very like angsty. What Linkin Park do well, and yeah, this fits into that of what we got on sort of like Hybrid Theory and Meteora. Those kind of like songs, and yeah, it's a great song. It's really her standout track. She's like planting the flag, going, "This is what I can bring to the band on this track." But unfortunately, it's followed directly by a song called Casualty. They are trying, for me, they are trying something like a bit new. This is like a very like they're trying to go heavier on this track, and for me, it doesn't quite stick the landing. But it's not with what Emily's bringing. It's actually Mike. Mike is trying to bring those more aggro vocals in what this is like her like screamed vocals on this track. It's not the best example of it on the album, but yeah, Mike's trying to get that sort of like level of aggression in his voice as well in Casualty, and for me, it don't really work. This is like back in the day. This would have been Chester would have done that. Like he would have been that like aggressive male lead, and like, obviously, unfortunately, he is no longer with us. Mike is trying to sort of step himself into that role as well as what Emily's doing, and it just doesn't quite work for me anyway. Like the band themselves, like the backing band, like do sound pretty good on this track. It's just Mike's vocals are just not working for me on this track. Uh, it's it's not my least favourite track on the album. That is the next track that follows, a song called Overflow. It is so stylistically different compared to everything else on the album, and it kind of sounds like what we got towards the end of like the Chester albums, sort of like Linkin Park, and it just doesn't fit in with everything else. Um, yeah, it brought me out of the experience, and I just didn't quite know like how to feel about it. I'm not I'm not that much of a fan of that kind of music. I don't know what it was when they was doing it with Chester that I could kind of stick with it. Maybe it was just his voice, I suppose. It kind of worked, but with like doing that kind of style with a different vocalist doesn't work for me. Like Emily is working better with what I would call the stereotypical Linkin Park sound. The sound that you'd think when you think of Linkin Park, you think of stuff like Numb, One Step Closer, that kind of like sound, and her voice fits that better. Like Mike's voice works better with that. I think it was just like Chester fit more for the more gentle, like more like modern like sounding stuff. So yeah, it's just Overflow is my least favorite song on the album. Like some people will like it. It's just my taste. Next is Two Faced, which it goes back in with that the sound that the rest of the album sounds like for me. And again, it's another standout track. It is good. I really enjoy Two Faced. Again, Mike's flow on this, the guitars, Mr. Han on this album. It's so good to hear him doing his stuff again. He is such a good DJ for this band, and he has been from day one. And I have missed these guys working together. Yeah, Two Face, another standout track from this album. Then again, we're getting to one I'm a bit iffy on. Like I said, I don't know if it's going to be a Hubba Bubba track where I like it for a start, but it's got to quickly lose its flavour. Slowly lose its flavour? No, it's going to quickly lose its flavour after a few listens. Stained is called. This song is called, and yeah, I'm just not that much of a fan. It sounds good, but it's just compared to everything else, it's a filler track, and I dare say after give me a couple of weeks, Cut the Bridge and Stained are going to be if I had this on in my car, I would probably skip them unless I was feeling like it at the time. Apologise. But then we get to the final 1-2 punch, which is I gave you everything I had. Apologise. It's nearly midnight over here. I'm pretty tired. Yeah, this is what Casualty was like. This does better of what Casualty was trying to do. So much better. They knock it out the park with I Gave You Everything I Had. This song is a belter again. This is Emily showing what she could do in the harsh of vocals. This is her showing her the screamy side of what she can do. Again, she's planting a flag, going listen up. This again, it's one of the best songs on the album. I absolutely adore this song. And then we get to again, it's this track Good Things Go. It's very emotional. It's doing the emotional ballady song that Linkin Park do very, very well. And it's a fantastic closer. This, I think it's hard to think that it's hard thinking what would Chester sound like doing this material, but I think Good Things Go is a song that if Chester was doing this song, it would be phenomenal. His voice would have fit so well with this song. But Emily and Mike really do it justice. It is a brilliant emotional closer for the album. Yeah, I forgot to mention, I think Two Faced is. Oh, I think I missed that one. Yeah, there is a. No, I didn't. It's straight after Overflow. Two Faced. Two Faced is Mike Shinoda's moment on this album. I apologise, I wasn't reading my notes properly. Yeah, Two Faced, as a track, it's got the old school Linkin Park vibe. Mike's flow sounds absolutely incredible on that track. It is so good. It's Mike's standout performance on this whole album. So yeah, the songs to really check out on this album are Emptiness Machine, Heavy Is the Crowd, Over Each Other, Two Faced, I Gave You Everything I Had, and Good Things Go. Overall, if I was going to give it a rating out of 10, I'd probably give it seven and a half, 8 out of 10. As a comeback album, it's fantastic. I've enjoyed every minute of listening to this album. It's got that sound of Linkin Park that Linkin Park had when I was growing up and getting into them. It's probably like the nostalgia factor as well. But yeah, like I've not just listened to this 1 or 2 times. I've literally had this on repeat all day while I've just been at home and doing stuff. I've very much enjoyed this album, and I'm probably going to sit with it, see where it's going to fall in my album list, but it's probably going to make it into my top 10 of the albums that it's like favorite albums of this year. Like, it's so good to have one of my favorite bands of all time back. Like, I know I'm 32. I'm in the right age for Linkin Park, but yeah, I absolutely adore like this album so far. I don't want it to be a oh, catty moment, but I don't want it to be a repeat of "That's the Spirit" by Bring Me the Horizon, where that album came out. Like, I rinsed it so much on release day. I loved that album on release day, and within a couple of weeks the flavour had gone, and I don't really revisit it anymore, apart from like a few select tracks. So yeah, I'm hoping that's not the case, but right now I love the new Linkin Park album. I think if you're a fan of like their earlier material, you should really, really check it out. The new vocalist Emily Armstrong, for her first outing with the band, she's done very well. I know there are a few bits of controversy with like her own personal beliefs and some stuff, like with her being a Scientologist, and I'm staying out of that. More educated people than me have like, if you're feeling a bit morally iffy about listening to like somebody who's a Scientologist, because yes, that cult are a bunch of shitheads. But like, don't, you probably made your mind up about it or not. But yeah, for me personally, please check out this album. I really enjoyed it. I'm probably going to enjoy it a lot more the more I sit with it. Like I said, there's 2 tracks which I'm kind of on the fence of. Like, I'm enjoying them so far, but I don't know whether the flavour's going to go. They just kind of feel a bit fillery for me, but we'll see. Yeah, so that is today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it. It feels good to be actually on it pretty early with these album reviews this time. Like I said, I'm going to be reviewing the Cure's new album over the next couple of days. I'm still working on my Iron Maiden video. I might have to tweak what I was doing, because I tried filming it last night and I wasn't happy with it, and I'm not going to release like in something I think is inferior to what I'm capable of. I was just rambling about how much I like love Iron Maiden, and I've kind of done a video like that already. So I might just turn it into a top 10 and give you my top 10 Iron Maiden albums instead, because like yeah, justifying what albums go at the bottom of the pile, it just felt wrong, and I just rambled and I rambled and I rambled. So I just like I caught like filming halfway through, and I decided to like sleep on it. And when I like revisited what I'd actually filmed this morning, I wasn't happy. So yeah, but there's also going to be the new album from Opeth that I'm going to do a review on. I'm going to be reviewing the new Carnal Rot EP, which I've been listening to quite a lot. It's, if you like your stuff heavy, ooh, you are in for something special with that one. Yeah, so I will be coming like the Carnal Rot one. It'll be a bit of a shorter one because it's an EP, but yeah, if you like your heavy stuff, keep your eyes peeled for that. But apart from that, that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed my review. Like, for me, please check out please check out this album. I'm gonna be doing some more like content over on my TikTok page. I'm gonna be really working on like more stuff for this channel as well. like I said, it is really my main focus going forward now. I am going to be working so hard to make this channel something we can all be proud of, and really just trying to make a go of it, because, like, one, I am so passionate about this kind of music, and two, like, talking about it makes me happy, and I want to, like, if I can potentially make this what I do for a living, that's what I'm gonna do. I like do what makes you happy, folks. So yeah, that's it for today. It's been fantastic to review this for you guys and being able to get it in early. So yeah, just know that you're loved. Have a fantastic day and keep the faith. I'll see you later, guys.